So you trying to tell me that a home console that Nintendo is making can now go portable on the go?
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
And you're also trying to tell me that the Joy-Con controllers on the side can also be used as a second controller for a buddy?
Yeah, that shit's flame.
Okay, that kind of sounds dope. So how much does this all cost?
Around a good $300.
$300 for all that? That actually sounds pretty good.
Hey, whoa. Pump your brakes, kid. First off, you gotta think about it like this. This console is literally $300 plus 70 for the damn Pro controller. I mean, the fuck wrong with them? Charging $70 for a goddamn controller. And then on top of that, they actually gonna do an online fee starting around like the fall time. So now they wanna jump on that bullshit ass bandwagon. And then on top of that, I mean, you gotta think about it like this. Think about the Wii U's track record when it came to third party support. I mean, come on, son. This console's irrelevant.
So that's how I feel every single time I think about the Nintendo Switch. Because I'm not gonna lie, this thing, I actually love the idea. I love the fact that it's a home console that can go portable. I love that idea. That means you can never stop playing your console game if it's not available on the handheld. But at the exact same time, there are a ton of things that Nintendo is just doing wrong that you have to do research into in order for you to find this shit out. But what's really weird is that when I first saw the reveal trailer, I was like, this shit's dope. And then, of course, my girlfriend loves Zelda, so I already know that's a day one pickup for any Zelda fan. That's a no-brainer. Unless you have a Wii U, because it'll be available on there too. But the thing about the Nintendo Switch, I'm just going to start off with the positives of everything I like about the Nintendo Switch thus far from what I've seen. One thing I really do like about the console is literally the fact that it can go portable. I love that idea. That idea is just straight up phenomenal just because if you want to keep playing your console game and there is no handheld port like they would have done with like Injustice or Mortal Kombat like on the PS Vita, then guess what? You can literally take your console with you, play it anywhere you had to go, and you can keep on with the experience. That's pretty good. I do love that concept. I also love the concept of the Joy-Cons being used as two sub-controllers. So if you have a game that is compatible with that doesn't take two analog sticks like a fighting game, or even I think they saw them playing 2K with the two Joy-Cons, that's an amazing idea. That's pretty good. So you literally get two sub-controllers and you get one main controller. I thought that was just a flat-out amazing idea just because, hey, it also brings back that, actual friend-to-friend gaming experience because, hey, I forgot my controller, or, we can't play this, we gotta take turns. Now, if you just bring your Switch over, boom, hand them a Joy-Con, and you both can play and enjoy the same game. So I thought that was actually an amazing idea. And also, one thing I actually do like, this is actually, is literally a positive and a negative at the same time. I'll get into the negative later. Positive thing is they had a whole lot more third-party support than they did when the Wii U first came out. Wii U had like maybe a few third-party companies, and they only launched like bullshit games on there, except for like a few. Even Black Ops 2 made it on the Wii U, so that was surprising. And then we saw the downturn of what happened in the later years. So the Wii U, when it came to third-party support, was very scarce in the later years, and then they showed a whole lot of different companies working on games for the Switch. They said they have over 80 games in development. They only showed off like maybe a few, and other than that, those games were available on different platforms that have been out for maybe a year or two. But nonetheless, that's still pretty good. And the very last thing that I actually really like about the Nintendo Switch is that they're focusing on fun instead of power. And what I mean by that is, if they were to focus on power, that'll be a battle that they've already lost. Because look at what the consoles are doing now. They're trying to compete with the PC. We got the Xbox Scorpio coming out, and the PS4 Pro just came out maybe a few months back. And honestly, if you really care about performance that much, just get a PC. You have so many options to where you can build your rig the way you want. You can have as much power in that bitch as possible. Or if the Xbox Scorpio is as good as it says it is, get the Xbox Scorpio. Other than that, Nintendo knows if they were to go into that battle, they would lose. So they're just going to focus on making their games just look a lot of fun, which a lot of them did. And it took me a minute to realize that, because I actually went back and played some of the old PS2 games that I had fun back in the day with, like a game called Urban Reign and the original Devil May Cry. And what I realized with Urban Reign is that story was ass. There were so many things wrong with that game, but that game for some reason was just so much fun. Me and my brother played that game so much together, and I remember just pulling off some nasty combos with Dwayne and using Tung Yun. It was just so much fun, man. It was just a blast to play again. And then the original Devil May Cry, I just remember my first experience playing Devil May Cry 3, and then asking for Devil May Cry 3 for Christmas, and then I ended up getting the first Devil May Cry, and I was like, okay, it's still Devil May Cry, I'll enjoy it. And there was so many things wrong with that game when it came to, I'm not going to say like the story mode, but, you know, voice acting's kind of, and then just a lot of the effects, because this game came out in like 2001, so it wasn't like a really, really solid looking PS2 game. I mean, it was still kind of blocky, still early in the PlayStation 2's life cycle, but I just remember beating that game on hard for the first time. That shit felt like Dark Souls level hard, because if you got hit maybe twice, you're dead. So with those games, they may have not been, you know, the most graphically demanding, they may not have changed a lot of different things, but they were just overall fun games. And even, like I said, for its time, it really wasn't a really graphically good looking game. So the fact is, they were just fun. Now, here is where I get into the negatives. And the reason why I'm going to bring up probably so many different things, because a lot of this stuff just kept coming up over time. One main problem. I do not like the fact that you have to pay for online now. Me being somebody who was on Xbox 360 and then hearing PS3 players like rub that in your face like, y'all on that bitch system, you gotta pay for online, and then they end up having it, they got fucking amnesia. And then I ended up moving to PC, so I don't really have to worry about that unless I pay some or play some game that has some subscription or something like that. I just don't like the idea of charging for your online service. And then I've even experienced the 3DS, you know, servers and shit. Them shits ain't all that great. So, and then I've heard plenty of stories of just their online just not being that good. So it's just like, I don't know what they're really charging for, because when the PS4 was, you know, pretty much out and people were paying for online, they got hacked like crazy because they were trying to send a message like, you're charging people for what? Your shit is still poo. So I don't understand what they really actually want to do with that. And then one other thing that's really bad about the Switch is that with their third-party support, it can literally go two different ways. One, it can, you know, go shooting through the roof in sales, or B, it can just not sell as good, and then they're just gonna be like, we might as well just not waste our time developing games on the Switch. Or Nintendo could just be like, we're just not gonna waste time with you bringing your games over to our console. So we can go literally two different ways. They can start off very strong with third-party support, like the Wii U did, coming out with actual heavy-hitting games, and then, you know, just completely fall off the wagon. So it literally just depends on how this thing's gonna perform, or if Nintendo is not stuck in their old ways, because they're kind of out of touch with how things are today. Like that 1-2 Switch game where they're playing like that cowboy game. Nobody don't do that no more, dude. No, and then on top of that, to tell you the truth, if you're catering to kids are more into their phone than they are really at handheld consoles. I know more adults that have 3DSs and, you know, handheld consoles, actual handheld games and stuff from Nintendo, than I do actual kids. You don't realize that your fan base is growing up. Your fan base grew up playing your games, and then they realize, oh, they're still stuck in like 1996. Bruh, it's just not, it's not the same, bruh. It really is not the same. I'm not saying they need to be, you know, exactly, you know, all mature games, and they just need to realize that the majority of your fan base is growing up. Because I see a lot of kids, they're too busy, you know, with their face in their phones. That's really much that's all the shit they care about. So they're not really all hyped for a Nintendo Switch unless they're gamers. And then if they are gamers, they probably have a PS4 or Xbox One by now, because we all know how many kids play freaking Call of Duty. Pretty much that it's just that main thing is that Nintendo just seems like they're out of touch with like a lot of different things. It's like you do so many good things with your console, and then you just take so many steps back on all this other shit that you're announcing, and you're thinking like, oh, these kids are just gonna line up to get your console, and they're just gonna ask, hey mommy, can I get the Nintendo Switch? No, they're gonna give them a damn tablet and then just have them download Candy Crush or some stupid mobile game, and they're just gonna have a blast playing that. So it literally just depends on if Nintendo can realize where their fan base is coming from. Yeah, a lot of kid-friendly games may do good, if families may buy it, but the majority of your fan base literally grew up with you. So sometimes the people buying them kid-friendly games are people who have had Nintendos when they were kids, and sometimes just never know how this stuff might end up. So when it comes to the Nintendo Switch, it's literally a hit and miss for me. When I first watched the actual press conference, I was hyped as shit, and then that's when all the truth started coming out with like a lot of these development teams talking about how Nintendo was stuck up their ass when it came to them giving them dev kits so they can get used to it, telling them that they're not priorities, and just weird stuff like that. But pretty much, hopefully this thing is gonna be living up to its expectations when it comes to third-party support and just bringing out a healthy line of games, because right now it's gonna be a Zelda machine for a long time, which isn't a bad thing if you're a fan of Zelda. So would it be a day one pickup for me? Honestly, if they had Metroid on that shit, it would definitely be a day one pickup. But for right now, I have no clue. I definitely have no clue at all. But anyway, I would like to thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. This is just some stuff off the top of the dome. I've literally tried to do this video at least 3 different times. Every single time I come up with so many things that are good, I come up with so many things that are bad, and then there's more to the situation. So hopefully I might get this podcast going up with the homie Dom pretty soon so we can elaborate on a lot of these different subjects. I would like to thank you guys for tuning in, and this is your boy Quinn from Double Edge Games. Peace out.